Okay, we have arrived at the ratio test, which is, I think, my favorite test to apply. It's very predictable, and I hope that you like it too. This test actually tests for absolute convergence. So if you get convergence from the ratio test, it's absolute, which is very strong. And the idea behind this test, and I will try to explain, I'll do more in class, but this test measures the rate of growth or decline of a series. And it does that, I'll just say rate of growth, I guess, or decline of a series. And it does that specifically by examining a ratio of the n plus first term divided by the nth term. Right? So it looks at ratio of consecutive terms down the line in a series. And if that ratio, if you go further, so it's very much uses the same idea as geometric series. So you might recall that geometric series has a common ratio, right? Always, right? It has the form that looks like this. First term times common ratio to the n minus 1 from m equals 1 to infinity. This ratio, no matter where you are in the series, you're always multiplying one term times the same thing to get to the next. Or in this case, if you took the n plus first and divided by the nth term, for geometric series, you would always get that common ratio. That's for geometric series. And we said these kinds of series will converge whenever that common ratio in absolute value is less than 1. Or another way of saying this is when r is between -1 and 1. And we've talked about this in previous videos. So for geometric series, we know this is the case. So the ratio test is going to use that idea. It's going to look at series that are not geometric but might behave similarly, attend to the ratio of consecutive terms, and then really, since we care about what happens as n gets really large, later down the line in the series, we're going to take the limit of that ratio of consecutive terms. Then we'll examine the limit. If in the limit what we get is smaller than 1, then it will converge. It'll behave like the geometric series. So here's the statement of the ratio test. And I'm going to still draw comparisons to the geometric series so that it makes sense to you, hopefully. So let's let the series a sub n be any series. Now it doesn't matter whether there are positive or negative terms, any series, because we're going to test this in absolute value. And let's suppose that we take the limit as n approaches infinity of the absolute value of the ratio of consecutive terms. And we'll call what we get from this limit, we'll just give it a name of rho. That's just the Greek letter rho. If that rho, so here are the 3 parts. If rho is less than 1, right? Since this is already absolute value, I don't need this part in absolute value, right? So if rho is less than 1, then the series converges absolutely. Because that means that as further down the line in the series, the consecutive terms have a pretty small ratio, so it's not growing very quickly. So series converges absolutely. 2. If rho is greater than 1, the series diverges. And 3, if we get rho equal to 1, we have to use another test, because here the test fails. We just can't tell. It could converge or it could diverge. The test fails, so this is inconclusive. I know that one of the great challenges of series is figuring out what test to apply, when. And so I usually make a note here, this test is really useful when the nth term has factorials. And so I'm going to do a little explanation of factorials and how to use them. or powers, right? So I use this test when I see factorials in the nth term or powers. So since we're going to be working a lot with factorials, I would like to, oops, let me find my notes. I'd like to just chat a little bit about factorials, and I might have to do that without notes because I can't find them. Where I put that one page. Oh, I got it. Okay, so let me just scroll up a little bit. We're just doing a side note here of working with factorials because these are going to come up a ton when we apply the ratio test and also with power series. So by definition, factorial, this is read n factorial. That exclamation part is factorial, and it's a product of the n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 all the way down to 1. For example, if I have something like 5 factorial, that's going to be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Whatever this is. So this is 120. That's 5 factorial. 0 factorial is defined to be 1. We could say, let's see, I don't know. I can write 2 factorial, that's just 2 times 1. 3 factorial, that's just 3 times 2 times 1. Now, a note here. We can write 5 factorial in different ways. We know that 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. But we also know that 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is actually 4 factorial. So another way of writing 5 factorial might be 5 times 4 factorial. That means the same thing. Or let's say we know that this is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and 3 times 2 times 1, that's 3 factorial. So we could write 5 factorial as 5 times 4 times 3 factorial. We could also write, for example, n plus 1 factorial can be written as, well, we start at n plus 1, then multiply by the term before it, then multiply by the term before it, then multiply by the term before it until you get down to 1. But n times n minus 1 all the way down to 1, that's the same as n factorial. So we can write n plus 1 factorial as n plus 1 times n factorial. Lots of ways of writing these factorials, and so that's going to be really important and useful to us. Let's do a little bit of factorial algebra before we apply the ratio test, although maybe, well, yeah. So factorial algebra, we'll do maybe one simplification because this is going to come up a whole lot today. So let's say I want to simplify n plus 3 factorial over n factorial. So just simplify. Well, n plus 3 factorial is n plus 3 times all the terms that come before it. And I'd like to cancel it with the n factorial. So I can write this as n plus 3 times n plus 2 times n plus 1 times n factorial, because that's all the terms before n multiplied together. This is over n factorial. N factorial cancels with n factorial, and this is simplified as n plus 3 times n plus 2 times n plus 1. Let's try another one. And I'll split this up into 2 videos. So I'll make this ratio test video 1, and there'll be a second ratio test video, maybe 3. We'll see. So let's try to simplify 2n factorial over 2n plus 1, all of this factorial. Let's see how we might do that. I'm going to leave the term in the numerator on its own and try to tackle what's going on in the denominator. So first, I'm going to distribute 2 so that we actually write this as 2n plus 2 factorial. Notice that the term in the denominator is 2 more than the term in the numerator. So I should be able to write the term in the denominator as 2n plus 2 times 2n plus 1, and that gets me down to 2n, and then I can express all the other products before that with the factorial, and that will allow me to cancel with the 2n factorial in the numerator. Those will cancel out, so I'll be left with, in simplified form, 1 over 2n plus 2 times 2n plus 1. So that's just a little bit of work with factorials and how to rewrite them.